When I worked at EB Games, we used to sell a range of PC titles in red boxes, which were somewhat akin to the PlayStation Platinum range. One such title that we just couldn't keep enough stock of was RollerCoaster Tycoon 2, and we would sell an obscene amount of copies per month, despite the game being pretty old. I've always been a huge fan of Tycoon games myself, but admittedly, I skipped the RollerCoaster Tycoon series for no particular reason. RollerCoaster Tycoon Classic just dropped on the Nintendo Switch, offering both the first and second game in the series, along with a myriad of bonus content. So, as you can imagine, I had to pick it up and give it a try. What's it like? Pack a lunch to save some money, get in line, and you'll need to be this tall to ride as we review RollerCoaster Tycoon Classic on Nintendo Switch. Before we open the park, would you mind liking and subscribing? It's the best way to help other people find out about what's it like, and I can't thank you enough for doing so. As mentioned, RollerCoaster Tycoon is a rather generous offering that includes both RollerCoaster Tycoon 1 and 2, the Toolkit, Wacky Worlds, and Time Twister expansion packs. It should be noted that some of the real theme parks included in the originals have been cut, most likely due to licensing issues, although the range of Six Flags parks is included. Regardless, there's still a lot of gameplay here to keep you occupied. The game puts you in the boots of a theme park construction mogul whose job it is to get through a whopping 95 scenarios, all with different objectives to make a profitable theme park. Sandbox mode is absent for some reason, but once you complete the scenario, there's really no limitation on gameplay. You will manage all aspects of the park, from the maintenance staff, ride prices, cleanliness, security, and of course, the rides themselves. The most impressive part of this offering though is really just how well the controls have been remapped. It's very considerate on the Nintendo Switch. At the time of writing, there's no touchscreen controls, although Atari have announced that they're looking to implement them. But the controls themselves are intuitive and work well. Your right stick acts as a camera control and your left stick acts as a mouse pointer. You can click and drag windows, and while the UI may be daunting for newcomers, the game tends to gently guide you as well as give you the ability to pause the game and catch your breath should things break down and you get overwhelmed, and trust me, it happens. The beauty of RollerCoaster Tycoon Classic is that it doesn't immediately overload you with things to do, and it tends to slowly unlock new rides and shops the more popular your park gets, making everything rather manageable. And there's nothing better than hearing the satisfaction of the cash registers chiming when your park profits rise higher than your latest roller coaster creation. Speaking of which, creating roller coasters is a fairly simple affair, simply selecting a direction or piece of the coaster to progress the track. There are some considerations to manage to ensure the ride is exciting, doesn't make people sick, or worse, kill them. And if you want to save time, you can also use pre-packaged coasters that are simple click and place designs where all you have to do is connect the lines and the pathway. That's really the whole joy of these games. Once you get the hang of it, there's a lot of simple fun to be had, and staring at your park as visitors bustle about never seems to get boring. Managing visitor satisfaction boils down to making sure there are enough rides, adjusting prices, foods and bins to ensure a tidy and safe park. Each ride has its own variables and you can adjust prices and speeds for maximum thrills and profits. You can also run advertising campaigns to attract more visitors to your park, as well as manage loan repayments to save on interest. You can go as in-depth as you like, or you can just cruise along until you feel comfortable tackling the spreadsheets. Graphically, the game does look a little dated, but it's hard to score it by modern standards, but it still retains the charm that it had back in its heyday, as it hasn't received visual updates in the gameplay window. What has had a major overhaul, however, is the UI, which is sharp and well thought out, making management a breeze. The rides all have unique animations, like the haunted house with a ghost popping out at the top, or the classic merry-go-round spinning away to riders' delights. Each asset tends to have some great sound design, and the more you build, the more your park seems to come alive. Roller coasters are particularly fun to watch with visitors cheering or screaming as the coaster dips and curves, and it's all just very fun to watch. Performance is obviously very solid with the exception of the frame rate dipping on the zoom out, and it's only really mainly when the cash totals appear on screen. Aside from this, there were really no issues that detracted from my gameplay, and it's a fairly refined experience. For my park designers looking into accessibility options, there are a few available that will allow you to hide crowds and declutter your screen. But as always, I recommend further research into finding out if RollerCoaster Tycoon Classic suits your needs. At $37.50 Australian, there's a whole lot of classic and amazing gameplay in this package. The gameplay mechanics can be as deep as you want them, and it's such great fun to create the park of your dreams. Despite the aging graphics engine, there's a lot of charm and pixelated detail to be absorbed, combined with great sound design that immerses you into your theme park. I finally understand why we couldn't keep that value pack range of RollerCoaster Tycoon games on the shelf, and thankfully, Switch gamers don't have to miss out either. So, what's it like? RollerCoaster Tycoon is like theme park, but with something a little bit extra special crafted in there. I award it an 84 out of 100. Thanks so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. The best way you can support me is to like and subscribe and continue watching my content if you enjoy it. But if you do want to go that bit extra, you can buy me a coffee or join our Patreon, which shows you behind the scenes of this channel. Thanks again.